We'll call to order the regular December 15th, 2014 meeting of the Robertson County Commission. I'm going to recognize Commissioner Bob Stroud for the invocation to be followed by the pledge to the flag. If you have a cell phone on, please silence it. And if you have lost a cell phone, if you'll see Jody Ballard, she has one that someone has mislaid. So, Commissioner Stroud, at this time, if you will come to the invocation to be followed by the pledge to the flag.
Let's pray. Dear Heavenly Father, we just thank you for this day. We thank you for this time to come together and discuss the business of our county, Lord. I thank you for each of these that's here. I thank you for the men and women, Lord, that have stepped up to just take leadership roles and represent their communities. Lord, I just ask that you watch over us, that you bless these, and Lord, that we handle ourselves and conduct ourselves in a way that glorifies and honors you in everything we do. Lord, all these things I ask in your name. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Commissioners, if you'll press yes and confirm, you will be registered into this voting system. We'll give the Legislative Committee just a moment to plug in. There being 22 commissioners present and 2 absent, I declare that we do have a quorum. Commissioners, you have in your packet the 2 sets of minutes from the special November 10th session as well as the regular November 17th session. What is your pleasure? Have a motion by Commissioner Brown, second by Commissioner Baggett, that they be accepted. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. So they are approved. Before I get into a number of communications, Chair would appreciate a motion to make Mr. Mike Davis, Director of Schools, a member of this body. He has a point or two of communication he'd like to make with the body. Have a motion by Commissioner Haley and a second by Commissioner Hogan. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. So, Mr. Davis, the floor is yours.
Mayor, Madam Chairman, members of the Commission, I wanted to come before you this evening and give you a progress report on our construction project out at Crestview Elementary School. Each of you should have a booklet. We get these monthly. We don't have them printed for everyone each month, but they print enough for our school board. But I think I told the members of the Commission at the time we funded this that I would come back to you about midway and tell you how the project's going. We're about 50% complete at this point. And that's where we should be. We've lost about 10 days due to weather. It's been a wet winter. It's been cold, and there's been times, of course, that the workers couldn't work. But we are making progress, and things are going very, very well. This report does not include anything from systems integration, which is the low voltage part or contract. It's a separate contract, or anything from train, which is the heating and air. And it doesn't include anything with Johnson Controls. They have the fire alarm system for the building. But it's been really a great project. We're still in budget. We haven't had any cost overruns or any change orders. And let me knock on wood because that'll change tomorrow. I hope it doesn't change. I don't foresee any changes like that, but I just wanted to make sure you understood that. It's a very self-explanatory report. You see the first page, you'll see the schedule of updates, and I meet monthly with the contractors, the architect, the engineers, and as many of the subs as I possibly get there, and we have a review of the project. We've got our next meeting this week, in fact. It's the 17th of December. And that's the first item you see. The next item you see is the work that's been completed over the past month and in the different divisions. You should have an extra page in there that describes those divisions. Divisions 2, for example, is site construction. Division 3 is concrete. So all of those are self-explanatory. Again, couldn't go much better than it's gone so far. And if you have any questions, I'll pause or I'll wait till I get to the end. Yes, sir.
Phyllis.
Where is the playground going to be?
I'd have to have the overview. If you look back at the front of the book, well, no, look at the back of the book, and there's some pictures. Let me see if I can.
When you go out there, it looks like the whole hilltop is covered with school.
Well, there's a fence that goes around the top of that hillside, and there's another fence that goes at the bottom. But there is a large area right to the rear of the school that will be designated as a playground. It's almost directly to the rear of the school. And also between each of the wings of the building, there's a asphalt surface between the two of those for play areas for small children in kindergarten, first grade. So that'll be in there as well. The second section is the construction progress schedule, and what I want you to look at there, that's the important page to me, is if we're on time or not. And if you look at the item down there, number 63, at the second page of that section, it says punch. That's scheduled for June the 15th. This project's scheduled to be completed by June 30th, 2015. So we are on schedule, and you can see how that works. The dark bar units there across the bar line graph, that shows you where they are in each one of the trades that's mentioned on the previous 2 pages. The light shaded areas are the work that's yet to be completed. And the next section, I'm good, but I can't read upside down. That is the action item log. That only contains this month, the only thing it contains is an address. We do have a permanent address for that facility, and it looks like it's 1160 Jaden Garvin Drive, Springfield, Tennessee, 37172. The next section is change log. Now, that's not change orders. When you do a project, you have what's called allowances in the projects for different trades that you have to work with. For example, the brick allowance in this project, I think it's $400 a thousand for field brick, $500 a thousand for the accent brick. They're not in there because the work hadn't started yet. But you allow that amount of money, up to that amount of money for those items as we go forward. So those are all out of the allowances that are within the contract. The next item is Section 5, which is the request for information to the architect, and those are the notes that he gets each month, and they report to me. Might make interesting reading for you when you get bored, but it really is important to us to make sure that we're getting what we're paying for. And the next section is the submittal logs, and that's, of course, things that have to be submitted to the architect for his approval. And when they're approved, you may see on there reviewed, and then you may see approved. They can be reviewed, and then they're approved and sent back to the sub for him to go ahead and install. The next one is a visitor's log, and it only shows my name on there one time. I do not go in the construction trailer every time I go out there. Most time I don't go in the trailer. I go on the job site. So that's the one day that I had actually gone into the trailer and signed in. Most of the time I just go out on the job and see what's going on. I don't have time to sit in there and chew the fat. The next one is a daily log reports, or daily reports that the contractor gets from the subs, and he's got them numbered there and how many hours they worked and so forth. So he gives us those for the month. And the next section is the photographs, which is fairly interesting. And you've got several photographs there, and I'll try, Mr. Ellis, to point out that if you look at that very first photograph and you look at the road coming in, going around the building, at the very back, there's some, looks like some vehicles sitting on the top of that ridge there. That whole area there is playground area. It looks kind of small in this picture, but it's a pretty good size area.
When you drive up to the front of the building.
You don't. Yeah, you won't have any playground in front of the building. It's all parking lot. The parking lot is underneath those TVA lines. Yeah, that's where that'll be. Of course, the asphalt is put in up through the cul-de-sac, and that's the first layer. They're putting in sidewalks now, and like I said, I've been on about 15 of these projects in my career, and this one's so far has gone as smooth as it can go. Subject to your questions, that completes my report on this project.
Any questions, Mr. Davis?
Thank you again for your support of the school system and for this project in particular, and we look forward to working with you in the future. And I want to wish each and every one of you a very safe and happy holiday season. Merry Christmas.
Thank you, Mr. Davis. By statute, the Audit Committee meets annually. There was an Audit Committee meeting on November 17, 2014. The committee had looked at the June 30, 2014 audit. There were no findings or recommendations to report. Jody Stewart stated that it was another year where the county department heads and elected officials worked together to follow the laws in order to be in compliance, and the auditors were pleased. The county is very fortunate that everyone wants to cooperate and cares to do a good job by staying under budget and complying with rules and laws. This makes the fourth consecutive year without an audit finding. Jeff Bailey stated that the Office of the Comptroller of the Treasury has been promoting the formation of the audit committees. He states that whenever there is a finding, the audit committee will be a mechanism that has been formed to address those issues and discuss how to correct any finding issues. The members of the audit committee are Commissioners Adcock, Baggett, Brown, Eden, Farmer, and Moore, Mr. George Hatcher, Mr. Brad Moreland, Mr. Dennis Wade. So we appreciate the work of the audit committee and for another good audit. In respect to Form CT-0253, this was the refunding issue that you approved at the special meeting. No voter action is required by the County Commission. You have passed the resolution, and the bonds are in the process of being issued. We should close on those bonds actually on Wednesday. The form has been filed with the state following the issue, and the only requirement is to be shown to the commission, and stated that the form that will be filed that day will be done after the meeting. We need to note in the minutes that Form CT-0253 was presented to the commission, and that comes from Nelson Mullins, bond counsel for the county, so those two items as well. Some of you have inquired about ID cards for commissioners. County Clerk's office and the Mayor's office have been working in concert with CTAS. Hopefully we'll have those ready for you by January. Some of you still have not had your most recent photograph taken, so it would be a really good idea to hook up with the folks taking the photographs and get those done so you won't have to use an old picture. You don't get any younger by using the older picture, I'm told. So please let Jim Bellis know your availability and get that picture made so they'll all match. And hopefully we'll have your IDs ready for you then. At the January meeting. At the November 17th meeting, you may recall that Mr. Hogue did a handout, and that handout is to be included in your blue books that coincide with the state statute. This will be coming to the commission for your consideration in January to make us compliant with state statute. So if you have any questions about the content of that handout that is to be included in the blue book, if you'll contact Mr. Hogue in the planning office, we would very much appreciate that. And at this time, I'm going to ask our two volunteers and Kathy Finley if they will come down and join me at the podium. Y'all come right on through here, please. Kathy, won't you join us? You're a very important part of this. Each year, we are asked to come up with volunteers for the Governor's Volunteer Star Award, and these are people who have gone to extraordinary measures to volunteer in their community and on behalf of their community. And I think last year was the first time that we had actively participated in this, and we appreciate those folks being renominated. But first, let me issue this proclamation, and that is, it is fitting that we should recognize Zachary Sewell for his dedicated service to the Robertson County citizens and 4-H members, and by receiving the Governor's Volunteer Star Award. Whereas Zachary has served as a dependable volunteer, encourager, and leader of Robertson County and the Robertson County 4-H, and it is the desire of the people who have been beneficiaries of his service and devotion to honor him on this special occasion. So therefore, I, Howard Bradley, as County Mayor, on behalf of all the citizens of Robertson County, take great pleasure in proclaiming tomorrow, December 16th, 2014, as Zachary Sewell Day in Robertson County, and to extend our congratulations on such a wonderful achievement. Zachary, we are proud of what you have done. God bless you. Thank you for what you've done for this community. And our adult, of course, I can't think she's really an adult because she was a student of mine a few years ago. Right, Annette, a few years ago, yeah. But Annette Robertson is the adult recipient, and her proclamation says more or less the same thing. She has served as a selfless volunteer, a mentor, a leader, a compassionate citizen of Robertson County, and the people of Robertson County want to show their gratitude for what she's done. So therefore, I, Howard Bradley, as Mayor of Robertson County, do proclaim tomorrow, December 16th, as Annette Robertson Day in Robertson County. And once again, Annette, thank you for all that you've done to encourage these people and to make them become better citizens and to step up. That's going to pay dividends for this community for a long, long time. Thank you, and God bless you. And then there's a luncheon with the governor sometime. Have you all been notified of that yet?
Not yet, but
Okay. Coming up probably in January, February. We're proud of you. Thank you. Thank you, Kathy. I have a card from Commissioner Gregory. Mayor Bradley and staff and county commissioners, I want to say thank you for all the prayers and expressions of concern during the illness and death of my sister, Dolores Calhoun. Your gift to the Gorham McBain Public Library in her memory is so appropriate. She loved to read and always encouraged others to love books and stories. So thank you from Commissioner Gregory, and we continue to remember your family in our prayers, Commissioner Gregory. We also want to remember the family of Adams Mayor Omer Jean Brookshire. We lost Omer Jean on Thanksgiving Day. I think everyone knows that and knows what a shock it was to the community and what a great personal loss it was to so many of us. Sheriff Holt and I had dinner with him just the previous Thursday, and he was in such a big way, and the last thing on our minds that night was that we might be close to losing him. But he departed us on Thanksgiving Day. Omer Jean did a great deal, not just for Adams, which everybody knew about, but this community as a whole. So I have lost a very special friend and a trusted confidant, and he leaves a great void. So we want to continue to remember Omer Jean's family at this time. The next thing that I have are reports. The first one that I have is from the Highway Department, which is 7.1. Animal Control is 7.2. 7.3 is the Veterans Service Officer. 7.5 is from EMS. 7.6 is from EMS. 7.7 is from the Planning Commission. 7.8 is from the trustee. 7.9 is the inmate expense report for October. November's report is 7.10. 7.11 is from the Gorham McBain Public Library. 7.12 is from emergency management. 7.13 is from solid waste. 7.14 is from the fire service. 7.15 is the county financial statement. What's your pleasure? Have a motion they be accepted in order filed by Commissioner Couch. Or a second? Second by Commissioner Hoover. All those in favor say aye. Opposed, no. So they are approved. There being no elections and appointments at this time, I recognize now Mrs. Martha Wilkinson, our Director of Planning. And this next phase is the public hearing on our 3 rezoning issues. If you are here to speak in favor of or in opposition to any rezoning issue, I'll ask you to stand, to state your name. After we've gone through all the rezoning resolutions, then we'll come back to the commission for its consideration. I'll remind you that this is strictly the rezoning resolution. This is not approving the plats. This is not granting the certificate from the State Environmental Office. This is strictly the rezoning resolution. So, Ms. Martha, at this time.
The first resolution is from Mr. James T. Marshall III. He is requesting that 2.75 acres located on Old Highway 431, the 16th Civil District, the 10th Voting District, have a change of zoning from AG2 to R40, which is low-density residential. The Planning Commission voted at their last meeting 8-0 for you to rezone.
Anyone here to speak to that resolution? Yes, ma'am. Yes. Yes, ma'am. Okay. Anyone here to speak to Mr. Marshall's resolution? Ms. Martha.
The second resolution is for Mr. Jeff Bradley. He has requested that 15.25 acres located on Cedar Grove Road, the 15th Civil District, the 1st Voting District, have a change of zoning from AG2 to R40. The Planning Commission's vote was 8-0 for rezoning.
Anyone here to speak to that resolution? Yes, ma'am.
Yes, my name is Angela Holmes Beasley Murray. I am the power of attorney for Helen Holmes. And these are our problems with rezoning. The 15.25 acres is split by Cedar Grove Road, so it's 5 acres on one side and 6 acres on the opposite side. We are opposed because between 8810 and 8900 Cedar Grove Road, granting the zoning change request would allow the transformation of this particular acreage from AG2 to R40. It is our hope that we can have this objected to. The character of the land for the area under review is such that we anticipate serious adverse effects on our downstream drainage areas as a result of the residential development in this area. The entire length of the parcel under review for abuts with our land with a farmable acreage. This acreage is situated directly below the site where the landowner and prospective developer, Mr. Jeffrey Bradley, has proposed a development of these 3 houses. But I understand in the meeting that I had to miss because I was away in California, that somehow it has been expanded to 5 houses. Online it says 2 to 3 houses, so I'm really confused about how these things are not put in writing for us to be able to see ahead of time. If on the article of Robertson County subdivision regulations, because I believe in cross-claims it becomes a subdivision at that point, the negative effects downstream water drainage are grounds for withholding approval for subdivision development. The Planning Commission also shall study, I guess, the effect of the subdivision on the existing downstream drainage facilities outside areas of subdivision. Where it is anticipated that the additional runoff incident to the development of the subdivision will overload an existing downstream drainage facility. We need to withhold the approval of the subdivision until provisions have been made for adequate improvement for such drainage. The facilities and some as the Planning Commission shall determine. Proposed building acreage is estimated to be a 15-degree slope in 2 different areas. The parcel narrows and the downslope such that it funnels toward the acreage down below, which is our farm. The remainder of Mr. Bradley's parcel is on the slope on the opposite side of Cedar Grove Road, where the White House water tanks are located. The pitch of the incline in this section of the property is estimated at 17 degrees. The development on such a steep grade would require significant leveling. Leveling requires Mr. Bradley's parcel would increase drainage runoff. The watershed that this development is placed on will be harmed because the alteration of soil drainage and drainage flow. This will result in a loss of farmable acreage to us. Due to the runoff from the driveways and other development necessary to take the 15.25 acreage inhabitable, we expect damage to be approximately 25 acres to our farmable acreage. This environmental degradation of the land will lead to severe property value loss to us for affected acreage. It is expected that the zoning change request in question is granted, as it surely will flood downstream areas. We are aware that this is not a formal study, but I do have a sister, Carolyn Dillard, who has been the soil conservationist for Sumner County and in Cheatham for approximately 30 years. Okay. So, due diligence will show that if the zoning change in question is granted, it surely will prove detrimental to us. We've had just a little hard time tying down the details dealing with the planning commission on this, because on the website it said that there was supposed to be an appeals meeting in which we went to, and we were told we were at the wrong meeting. When I looked it up on the website to make sure we had the right night, on the website it said the meeting was to be announced. We tried to get the minutes from the meeting to make sure that I am quoting to you correctly, that it was said by them they could have 5 houses and perhaps even more houses per acre. But I can't tie that down because I did not get the minutes. These are our concerns, and I really hope that you choose not to rezone from agriculture to a low-density subdivision.
Thank you, ma'am. The chair would point out once again that the concerns that have been raised are certainly legitimate concerns, and they are to be addressed at the time of the plat approval, not the rezoning. And as far as the minutes of the meeting is concerned, they only become the minutes after they have been approved by the Planning Commission, and those minutes have not yet been approved, so they do not exist. Ms. Wilkinson.
Could I say something? Yes, you did attend last Thursday night appeals board meeting. That meeting is a public hearing. Only those items that are published in the newspaper can be heard. And no, ma'am, you were not advised that we would hear anything about Mr. Bradley's request at that meeting. And when I asked you, you all had to go and come tonight, you did. What happened at the beginning of the meeting, our chairman, Mr. Bill Jones, announced the next 2 meetings that the people in the audience might be concerned with. Tonight's meeting and the appeals board meetings. Appeals board meetings are open meetings, yes, but it was a public hearing, and no, Mr. Jeff Bradley was not in attendance, as you noticed, and you could not speak at that meeting.
Someone else to speak to this resolution in regards to the rezoning. Yes, sir.
My name is Jeff Bradley. This request, like I said, is 15.25 acres of agriculture. We have an ability to put our agriculture at 16-acre water. So under the current zoning, we're allowed 3-acre lots. So we can achieve 5 lots without a zone. Our only intent of coming to the zoning was to adjust the lot width requirement. Because like she said, it's on 2 sides of the road. Each side of the road has about 350 feet of road. Under agricultural zoning, your lot has to be 250 feet wide to achieve the lots that we want to be like a flag lot, one in front, one in the back. We wanted to rezone, not to increase density over what we can already do, but under a residential zoning, your lot width requirement is 150. On each side of the road, we have enough to build 2 houses on each side and take care of the steps and get them side by side and not stack them one behind the other. As far as drainage issues, we're looking at, and I did say the zoning meeting, I wanted to speak up to 5, because you know, it's kind of the cart before the horse. We've taken one time to look at it, and I'm almost certain we're going to end up deploying my soil properties or something to restrict this more with the land. But our intent and desire was for a step for the rezone. Now, I've been building most of my career, and the fact that we would build 4 houses and ruin 25 acres of a farm downstream with runoff is incomprehensible. Of course, we will plat it, and we will have to go through all the requirements of zones, which, we've been doing for years, and we've had no problem with that. We will take exceptional care because of the concern of the neighbors and their nervousness of water runoff to do over and above. Try to, we don't want to be a bad neighbor. But, it's, the thought, and I understand it was 2 lots, it was 3. We didn't really even know the rezone, and I totally didn't expect this. I thought the rezone was residential, we didn't anticipate. Problems would come us a little off guard, but we have looked at it with the largest 4 lots. We do not want to do the flag style. If in the course of the development, if there are drainage issues or concerns that come up in the engineering phase, we will address those. And I'm sure we will not get approval until we do. We do plan to add a fire hydrant there. That's our intent at this point, which, in some small thing is an improvement to do. We're going to try and do that. But, like I said, the main intent of our zone is the lot width requirement. And we can do this project under either zone, but we can sure make it look a whole lot nicer and a lot more people under the residential zone and everything. So look into it.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else speak to this resolution?
I have about 20 signatures here that really feel that this is something that the zoning really needs to retain.
Okay. This is the county commission, ma'am. This is the county commission. Anyone else speak to this resolution? Ms. Martha?
The third resolution is from Mr. Roger H. Ray II. He is requesting that .99 acres located on Webster Road, the 11th Civil District, the 2nd Voting District, have a change of zoning from AG2 to R40. The Planning Commission vote was 8-0 for you to rezone.
Anyone to speak to that resolution? Seeing none, we'll close the public hearing at this time and bring these 3 resolutions to this body for your consideration. What's your pleasure? Any questions for Ms. Martha? Commissioner Adcock?
According to the zoning laws that we have today, to my recollection, is that property can be developed as is, correct?
It could be.
It meets the planning and zoning regulations.
He would not
I
have-
understand that what he's wanting to do is not to do the flagpole lots.
That's correct.
Other questions? Commissioner Stubblefield?
Ms. Martha, so I didn't hear everything that Laney asked you, but my understanding is that Mr. Bradley can build houses on that lot regardless of whether we pass this tonight or not. It's not whether he can build houses, it's whether how he's going to set them up.
You're exactly right, Ms. Stonefield.
Other questions? Commissioner
We're
Hogan?
going to vote on these 3.
That's at your pleasure. They're all the same classification. If you wish to consider them together, if you wish to consider them separately, you may do so.
Point of information, we need to make a motion on that.
Yes.
I move we vote on these three individual lots separately.
Separately? Okay, or you could vote on, if you wanted to separate one, you could vote on two together or one together, whatever your pleasure is. If somebody wanted to separate one of those out, you want to vote on each three separately. Is that your recommendation? Okay. Is there a motion that the commission approve resolution number 1?
Move for approval.
Have a motion for approval by Commissioner Adcock, and if somebody will use their pocket voter to second that for us, please. Get it on the floor. Have a second by still waiting for a second. Are we having issue? Okay. Someone second that motion?
Yes.
Commissioner Moore seconded the motion. Okay. Are we able to go ahead and, are we able to vote on these? Okay. So if you're in favor of resolution number 1, vote yes and confirm. If you're opposed, vote no and confirm at this time. Commissioner Hoover.
Trying to second, actually, get abstain. How do I count for that?
Can we clear and do it all?
That fix it, Commissioner Hoover?
No, I'm still confirming.
And you were trying to vote, you were trying to second the motion.
No, I accidentally hit abstain when I was trying to second.
I see.
Now it's got me locked in.
We can take care of that on the other side.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes.
No.
No.
I hit abstain. but I wasn't-
Okay, we got it.
Okay, so we had 22 votes in favor, none opposed, and 2 absent. I declare resolution number 1 approved. Okay, so now we're back to resolution number 2. The motion for approval.
So move.
Have a motion by Commissioner Eden for approval, and is there a second? Second by Commissioner Gregory. Any discussion of the resolution? If you're in favor of resolution number 2, vote yes and confirm. If you're opposed, vote no and confirm at this time. There being 18 votes in favor, 4 opposed, and 2 absent. 18 votes in favor, 4 opposed, and 2 absent. I declare that resolution approved. Mr. Baggett?
That's not the way I voted.
Okay. Does anyone else need to change their vote? Anyone else need to change their vote? Seeing none, the clerk will adjust Commissioner Baggett's vote from nay to yea. Okay? Everybody voted. Okay? So we will record the vote at this time. I didn't get the number.
Three.
19 votes in favor, and 3 opposed, and 2 absent. I declare that resolution approved. Thank you, Ms. Martha. I'm sorry.
One more.
Is that just resolution 2? I thought we were on resolution 3. Okay.
Move for passage of resolution number 3.
Have a motion to approve resolution number 3, and a second by Commissioner Jackson. Any discussion?
Question.
Question has been called for. If you're in favor of resolution number 3, vote yes and confirm. If you're opposed, vote no and confirm at this time. There being 22 votes in favor, none opposed, and 2 absent, I declare that resolution approved. Thank you, ma'am. Under new resolutions, I'm going to recognize Commissioner Adcock, who is chairman of the Budget Committee, for the next 4 resolutions.
Thank you, Mayor Bradley, Madam Clerk, fellow commissioners, ladies and gentlemen of the audience. This resolution is 121514132. It's a balanced budget amendment. It's for the, well, it's not, I take that back, it's not a balance. This is a bond for the finance director. I'll make a motion we approve.
Have a motion for approval. Is there a second? Second by Commissioner Eaton. Any discussion? Seeing none, if you're in favor of this resolution, vote yes and confirm. If you're opposed, vote no and confirm at this time. I think Commissioner Moore's having some technical difficulty.
We're having difficulty.
Hiccups tonight, what do you think?
How may be? Ready for a voice vote. Or voice vote.
You need a battery, Madam Clerk?
Okay.
There being 22 votes in favor, none opposed, 2 absent, I declare that resolution approved. Commissioner Adcock.
This is resolution 121514133. It's a sale of some surplus property. It's a balanced budget. I make a motion we approve.
Motion and a second by Commissioner Couch. Any discussion? Question has been called for. If you're in favor of this resolution, vote yes and confirm. If you're opposed, vote no and confirm at this time. Two votes in favor, none opposed, and 2 absent. I declare that resolution approved. Commissioner Adcock.
Resolution 121514134. It's also balanced. I make a motion we approve. It's for the Chancery Court.
Have a motion and a second. Second by Commissioner Couch. Any discussion? Question has been called for. If you're in favor of this resolution, vote yes and confirm. If you're opposed, vote no and confirm at this time. Two votes in favor, none opposed, and 2 absent. I declare that resolution approved. Commissioner Adcock.
It's resolution 121514135. It's $50,197 for a new roof for the old part of the library. I make a motion we approve.
Have a motion. Is there a second? Second by Commissioner Stroud. Any discussion? Commissioner Brown.
This is
That's
our
our one
half,
half.
yeah. The city has already approved theirs.
Current roof is about 17 years old, and I don't think they realized how deteriorated the roof was until they got into the renovation. So you don't want to spend $3.6 million on a building with a leaky roof, bottom line. Any discussion? Question's been called for. If you're in favor of this resolution, vote yes and confirm. If you're opposed, vote no and confirm at this time. Being 21 votes in favor and 1 opposed and 2 absent, I declare that resolution approved. The chair would ask a question, and we may need some input from Mr. Brewer, but in light of the fact that this body will not meet again until the 26th of January, whatever the 4th Monday is of January, the commission has the option of suspending the rules and considering this resolution twice, if that is your pleasure. Yes.
Is it expedient that we do that?
Well, I think there's a possibility that work might be done before that time, and it would be unfortunate if there was a change of heart about the roof and we were halfway done with the roof. So, I mean, I think it would probably work either way, but I mean, I wanted to make sure you understood you had that option and we'll be stretching it out, so. Commissioner Hoover has made a motion that the rules be suspended to consider this resolution for a second time, and a second by Commissioner Roberts. Any discussion? Question's been called for. Can we do this on a voice vote? Madam Chair, or do we need to do this on this? Okay. If you're in favor of suspending the rules to consider this particular resolution for a second time, vote yes and confirm. If you're opposed, vote no and confirm at this time. There have been 21 votes in favor, 1 opposed, and 2 absent. I declare that resolution approved. So now, if you will, consider this resolution for a second time on a motion by Commissioner Adcock and a second by, who made the second on the previous motion? Commissioner Couch, did you make the motion? Who did? Commissioner Roberts? Okay. And the second by Commissioner Roberts. If you're in favor of approval of the resolution number 4 in its second reading, please vote yes and confirm. If you're opposed, vote no and confirm at this time. There have been 21 votes in favor, 1 opposed, and 2 absent. I declare that resolution approved. Thank you for your prompt attention to that. Miss Martha, come down front, please. Some of you may have already figured out this is this lady's last meeting with us, and I don't know if we'll know how to have a meeting without her, because we haven't now for 38 years. So it's going to seem really strange with Martha not being here. But I was just thinking about the people that have served on the county commission, on the planning commission, on the appeals board, on the health and safety board, and most especially I know I speak for Mike Crawford, the late Emerson Meggs, Roy Apple, and myself, my 3 predecessors and myself, by saying a heartfelt thank you and Godspeed to this lady because of what she has meant to all of us for longer than most of us can remember. I remember when she was in the office, which is now the mayor's conference room, which was also the finance office, and that's where planning and zoning was born. And we've come a long way. So let me first of all read this proclamation. Whereas it is fitting that we should recognize Miss Martha Wilkinson, who is retiring after serving as Director of Planning and Community Development since 1976. And under her leadership, the county created the Department of Zoning as well as Health and Safety Boards. And whereas Robertson County has grown by more than 30,000 people during her tenure, and whereas she has shown professionalism and poise in her role as director, I therefore, Howard Bradley, as Mayor of Robertson County, on behalf of you and all the citizens of Robertson County, take great pleasure in proclaiming tomorrow, Tuesday, December 16th, as Martha Wilkinson Day in Robertson County, and invite all my citizens to congratulate you. So we have that for you. And we also have a plaque which the commission wishes to give you, and it says quite simply, for a lifetime of devoted service to the county commission and to the Robertson County community, Ms. Martha Pitt Wilkinson, Director of Planning, 1976 to 2014. God bless you.
Thank you.
You want to say something?
You know, a few weeks ago, I asked Mayor Bradley if I could talk. Well, all those who know me, like Don Eden and Tommy Baggett and some more, know it's never any trouble for me to talk. Then today, someone said, "Do you have any notes?" I said, "When did I have to have notes to talk?" So that's really a joke. Mr. or Mayor Bradley alluded to some of the same things I'm going to say because I feel it important that I leave here tonight with a few comments. There is no way that I can mention everyone who has played a part in my life in the Planning Commission office for Robertson County. You would be here into the midnight. But there are a few names that I would like to lift up. First of all, I can't believe that it's been 38 years plus that Dee and Charlene Reed called me and says there's an opening in the Planning and Zoning office. And if you're interested, you need to go see Judge Michael Crawford. And I thought about it. I was working part-time, and I thought, I'm pretty happy where I am. But now you know the rest of the story. First of all, I would like to thank God for the physical and mental health that He's given me to be able to work as long as I worked. I'd like to thank my parents, the late Minnie and Louis Pitt, who instilled in me that it's a blessing to work and to always do your best. My son Robbie, who's there for me regardless whether it's a good day or a bad day, I know I can count on him. The 4 men that I have worked for, they, I know, have earned their wings. I told Mr. Brown that just the other day. Without their guidance and support, I couldn't have done the job. No one does a job alone. Mr. Crawford, who hired me, of course, the late Mr. Emerson Meigs, Mr. Roy Apple, and Mayor Bradley. All of you are aware who our county attorney is. I don't know what I've done without Clyde in his office, because many have been the times that I've had to call him. Believe it or not, I don't have all the answers. Also to my staff, I know I've come in many days, and as one of my staff said, it's Miss Martha's way or no way, or you'll do it over. Lanny's shaking his head. He knows what I mean. I know I do have my way of doing things. It may not always been the right way, but it was the way I saw fit to do my job. We have people like Mr. Rick Mayo, who is our engineer. All of you elected officials, heads of the departments, the employees, the engineers, the surveyors, the builders, all of these people have been so important, and I thank all of you. And I guess, and finally, I'd like to say that there's not a one in this room probably at one point in time in their life hasn't thought, if I had it to do all over. Well, I can tell you tonight, if I had it to do all over, I'd go to Mike Crawford's office and interview for the job. God bless each and every one of you, and God bless Robertson County.
Thank you so much, Ms. Martha. She is the consummate professional, and I suspect that Doug will be calling on you from time to time, and I know that I will be, so don't get too far away. Any old business to come before this body? Under new business, there's a resolution being brought to you tonight about the status of the Fort Campbell Military Facility. And this was brought to me at the Regional Mayor's Caucus last Thursday, which is why it was not in your packet. And I hope you've had a chance to read it, because for a variety of reasons, what the Department of Defense is considering in regards to Fort Campbell will have a catastrophic impact, not just on Montgomery County, but on this entire region. It's something that I hope that we can persuade them to re-examine. The Department of Defense will be in Clarksville, in Fort Campbell rather, on January 20th. I plan to represent you at that meeting. Hopefully many of us will have a chance to testify. And much of this stems from the sequestration of federal funds going back about 2 years ago. But I think many people would say that the overall geopolitical and military situation in the world has probably deteriorated seriously since those decisions were made. So not only for the economic viability of our region, but more importantly for the defense of our nation. we hope that the Department of Defense can be persuaded to re-examine those very, very severe cuts. And Madam Clerk, who do we have that resolution?
Okay.
Commissioner Haley, if you'll come with this resolution, I would appreciate you bringing that before the full body. Commissioner Steve Haley.
Fellow Commissioners, ladies and gentlemen of the audience, Madam Clerk, our esteemed Mayor, I bring to you tonight Resolution 121514136. And it deals with, as the Mayor has pointed out, where we will send letters to the President of the United States, members of Congress, the Department of Defense, supporting keeping the level of troops as they are. If these sequestered cuts go into effect, we stand to lose 140,000 troops from Fort Campbell, plus the civilians that are used to support those troops.
Motion has been made by Commissioner Haley and seconded by Commissioner Adcock. Is there any discussion on this resolution? This will be presented to the Department of Defense along with the City of Clarksville, Montgomery County, Cheatham County, Dixon County, Christian County, Kentucky, and several others. Any questions? If you're in favor of this resolution, vote yes and confirm. If you're opposed, vote no and confirm at this time. There being 22 votes in favor, none opposed, and 2 absent, I declare that resolution approved. Anything else under new business? Glad to have Mr. Randy Davis, the CEO of Northcrest Medical Center, with us tonight. And I know that this is very sudden, so I'm going to wait until January, Mr. Davis. But if your schedule permits, I would like for you to come back and talk to the commission about the governor's announcement today on the expansion of Medicaid. If you would give us just a brief summary, we may have a chance to understand better what this amounts to by that time. I'm going to recognize now Commissioner Bowens for the election of notaries.
Mayor Bradley, I make a motion to approve the notary of Robertson County and state of Tennessee.
Have a motion. Is there a second? Second by Commissioner Hogan. All those in favor say aye. Aye. So a motion to adjourn is in order. And I have that by Commissioner Wilson. Second by Commissioner Roberts. All those in favor say aye. Aye. And a Merry Christmas to you all.